brewery.
Was it a brew pub? Well, no,
Realtors.
No, it's a
brewery.
Masonry.
Masonry.
No, it's not really a brewery. It's a brew pub. So,
Hi, welcome.
A brewery, you don't get to eat dinner. It's just
Todd and Erin daily stream. Huh?
Good morning.
We're gonna need a logo.
Hi.
I think we're gonna go with that, aren't we?
I think I'm okay with that.
I think so.
Yeah, I'm okay
I think
with
so.
that.
Let's start off with going to the action cam and see what the valley is doing this morning, shall
We
we?
finally get some decent weather for the weekend.
Right. When is it
For
coming
the
up?
weekend, not now, today.
Now, you know what this makes me
that's
think?
ominous as
It's
crap.
like the castle's on top of the mountain. We shall go with the horses. All right, master. I'm going with you. It doesn't. Earlier this morning, the mountains were like cut off, like they took them out to clean the tops.
Oh yeah, it's been deceptively nice, and now it starts raining. But on the bright side, the rest of the weekend is actually pretty nice.
Tell me about
That's pretty good.
Dress Woman Woods Cross.
It was funny because we put this up yesterday on Facebook, like everybody else. Like, so here's the thing, here are the pictures, and the only thing I'd had an issue with was the white, that it looked like all the girls were bowing and doing this.
She was wearing a
picture.
Chinese dress. Okay, so
that's true. Sorry
yes,
for
it was a
should
recap
have brought
here.
that up.
And she put it online,
And it was a beautiful vintage Chinese dress she'd gotten at a vintage shop.
and everyone said, not everyone.
Well, no. One guy said, "My culture is not your blank blank prom dress," and
Right.
it got 187,000 likes and retweets. And then the blasting started on poor Keziah, who's from Woods Cross High School, and went, "It's my prom dress," and things got awful. But she has been talking about how much support she got,
Right.
and how great it was. My only question was not about the dress, because it was like, no, this is not a sacred dress. If it was like a sacred wedding dress,
It wouldn't be in a thrift store, would it?
Or a religious artifact.
Right.
It would be different, but it's not.
Right.
But my question was just about the pose that the group did, and it was actually explained to me. Her aunt actually replied, and she said it's actually a shout out to the YouTube channel H3H3.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know either, but apparently the guys were doing a vape thing and the girls were doing a
So if I go
respect
like
thing.
this, right? What's that mean?
I have no idea.
It might be. If it's dirty, I'm sorry I did it.
I apologize.
It's not. I
And
remember
so I
there
was
was.
talking to her about just going, how is this going? And she said one person texted her and said she should be executed.
Oh, there you go.
It does. It gets to the point where you're like, at what point do we let this
you and I-
spiral so
you
wildly
and I-
out of control?
You and I disagree on this a little bit, and we even talked about it during the day. It was like, let me stop. And the fact that one of the comments I saw, this person that says that's not, that's a culture thing, and you can't
the whole
like
essence
that.
here is that how dare you? It's a cultural appropriation, meaning
So,
you've taken
dress.
something sacred to my culture and you're using it as a fashion accessory.
So I dress up as like one of the actors in Bollywood, and I do this. I don't think that's.
I
don't,
still disagree
So
with that.
I do this, and I don't think that's insulting. And the guy was giving her all this crap, and finally he said something kind of rude, and I went, "Hey, you're Japanese. Back off. You're not even Chinese. What's with you? That's not their culture." She is wearing a dress
so
up.
there. But no, but it's funny. I mean, cultural appropriation, the examples I've seen that people talk about, for instance, are the full Native American feathered headdresses.
Right.
If you're wearing that like as a cute outfit, that's not a cute outfit. That is something that is sacred to their religious rites. And for instance, when Todd and I go to Burning Man, it was a big thing one year, and it was all I could do not to go up to them and go, "Do you know how inappropriate that is?" Because that was unacceptable, but this was a nice dress. And once I found out that the pose was actually a shout out to something else,
Right.
there's nothing wrong that this girl did. And people are so excited to be offended. So very excited. Speaking of which, can I tell them? Can I tell them? Because it's funny.
Oh yeah. You want to turn your phone off first?
My phone is off, honey. No one can hear it except for you're listening to the buzzing. So,
Okay.
no, I was sitting, I was down at
I feel like this is Hamilton. And people are checking their phones during the performance.
You know, I even took it off the table so it wouldn't vibrate. So basically, the only one who has an issue is you.
I love you.
No, you don't, because that was sort of.
Okay, sorry.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so I had lunch over at Whole Foods yesterday.
Really?
Went to the Trolley Square one.
That's a good
And
story.
for some reason, I got that one lucky slot, because you know the parking sucks there, and I got that one lucky slot that's like directly across, so you can nip right into the store, and it's like right there. And so my friend and I slid in, and we went and had something to eat. And she was checking out. She was getting some other stuff. I said,
Right.
I'll just go wait in the car because I was going to check messages.
Makes sense.
I'm sitting there and I hear this, you know, when someone not just taps on the horn like, hey, the light is green, but they really lay on it like, excuse me.
Right,
and
right.
really pissing me off.
Something's really going
So my
on.
head shoots up. I'm like, crap, did someone get hit? And I look behind me, and there's this big, black, shiny new Range Rover.
Yeah.
And I look at him, and the guy hits his horn again, and he's gesturing like, get out of the spot. Like, I'm here.
It's your spot.
And it's my right now to get into the spot because you're in your car, so you need to pull out immediately. So
Right.
I can have the convenience of pulling into this spot. And I kind of go,
Right.
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
And like kind of, because I don't know enough sign language to go, my friend is in Whole Foods, and I'm waiting for her, and I'm not going to get out and talk
and
to
you
this guy.
should go. Yeah.
So I just sat there and ignored him, and I'm still checking. And he keeps laying on the horn. And makes this wide U-turn, blocking people, comes back, and then parks directly behind me again, still honking. And I look down because I'm just curious, like, is it as bad as I thought?
Right.
You were just like by the parking garage, dude. You could have
Right.
gone up there. And literally 5 cars down, there's 2 spots open. So if he had driven 5 car lengths further, he could have pulled right
What
in
was the
there.
resolution on this?
At this point, though, you can see that this man in the Range Rover is so angry that I have denied him his God-given right to order me to pull out of my parking space
Right.
for his convenience that he's just lost it. So,
Old guy, young guy,
middle-aged guy.
middle-aged guy.
Middle-aged, rich, entitled guy.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Call her up. Yeah. So
You popped his collar? Wow.
one of those. Anyway, so I'm laughing now, not like in a mean way, but like, this is so weird. Because
Right.
it's like, at what point do you get mad that someone won't pull out quickly enough for you?
This is like the aliens studying us.
And at this
Right.
point, I literally had even pointed down, like, maybe you didn't see, maybe you're focused so much on me that you didn't see that 5 car and this makes him angrier. So I'm like, I give up. And by now, a Whole Foods guy comes out because they're gentle and kind of goes, dude,
Here's some sparkling water.
You're honking and it's upsetting people, and it's a negative atmosphere. You know, and you're filling the
Right.
parking lot with negative vibes.
Here's some asparagus water.
I know some, you know. And so finally, I guess this convinces the guy to go and pull in, and he's furious, and he comes yanking out and rips his bags out because he's got his own bags because he's saving the environment, and stares at me the whole time he stalks into the store with his bags. And just then my friend comes out, gets in, and we drive off, and he throws his bags to the ground in rage. And I'm just like,
Who needs cable? Sometimes I wonder why I came here to study you people.
you know, I have been mad at the most random things, and Todd will attest to this, like the time he'll let people in front of us getting into an exit lane or something. But I have never seen this level of rage and betrayal, because I wouldn't move out of my parking space fast enough for him.
May I?
Yes, please.
We're going to Lake Powell. We're on I-15. We're driving where I-15 splits into I-80. We're going to go I-15 south. We're coming up on it, and this guy's trying to get
You know,
in.
I had already brought this up.
And I let him in. You didn't talk about the consequence.
Okay.
So
wait,
he-
No. We get to clarify this then. So we've been waiting for 10 minutes to get off the exit to go because everybody else is also going to Lake Powell. This guy's speeding by, and right inch before he can, he can like literally go off the highway. He goes, "Oh, can I just get in? I'm sorry. Can I just get in?" And I'm like, "We've all been waiting for 10 minutes." And what do?
I let him in. And she didn't talk to me till we got to price.
It's not true.
It's true.
We stopped for French fries in Nephi, and I talked to you then. I said I wanted the extra large size.
And then nothing till price.
While I was eating, my mouth was full.
Hey, went to dinner last night. Usually things like this don't bother me. Went to that brew pub up in the avenues.
Avenues
We'll show you it proper. We'll show you that. And this is what happened. All right, so go ahead. Do you guys got the video? They're scrambling for it right now. All right, you want to come back to
We
it?
can do it later. It's not
We
a
can
big
do it
deal.
later if you want.
But it is funny. I am surprised you would like to show that level of your obsession, because I don't think I've ever seen that in you before.
It's a funny thing that we did with it, but it was seriously bothering me.
And yet you mock me about my exit issues.
Mike, run in here when we're ready to go with that.
Yeah, it's no
we're
big
going to
deal.
move on though.
Let's move on. Now, what was this about? No one can even rent a home anymore. How much it costs?
This is crazy.
Because they were
Do you
talking about the big
remember
real estate thing yesterday. The house prices have almost doubled along the Wasatch Front in the last 18 years.
2000, it was 19. It was 200,000.
Median
and now,
home, no, median home here was 156, and now the median home is 316.
So the point is, the old rule used to be that you spend a quarter of your income on housing, renting or owning, whatever it is, a quarter. This is based on 30%, and this is renting a 2-bedroom apartment. And if that's the case, if you worked a full-time job, what minimum wage would you have to make to afford a 2-bedroom apartment?
2-bedroom house, isn't it?
No, well, apartment or house, doesn't matter.
Sure.
2 bedrooms. So around the country, Colorado, you got to make $21.97 an hour.
Wow. Okay.
In Texas, you have to make $18 an hour.
That's a lot of money especially for young people starting out.
California, it's 30.
Wow.
You got to make $30 an hour. Washington State, 23.
Washington State's expensive.
Oregon, 19.
Not so bad.
Do the East Coast for me.
East Coast, I'm expecting to be horrible here. $19 an hour in New Hampshire, that's not bad. 27 in Massachusetts, not a surprise. 24 in Connecticut? I thought they would be worse, I'm not going to lie. New Jersey, 27? Wow.
What's Florida?
Florida is actually not bad at all. It's $20.68. That's
one of the cheaper ones, yeah.
Yeah, without question.
And what about
Hawaii is $3,500, not a surprise. $24 an hour in Alaska.
Colorado, Utah.
We're not bad. $17 an hour.
If you can find one. We have friends who have been looking for an apartment for almost 4 months now, and everything they look at, and all this stuff is coming up, by the way, in downtown. They are building apartments like crazy. So hopefully that'll take care of some of the issues. But we're ready for the video. So we went to dinner last night. Can you go? We'll do this. All right, let's watch.
Place, by the way.
It is. Avenues proper. And it's a brewery, which is cool because they have, look at all the tanks and all the equipment, and it's like really industrial, and it's really cool. So we sat down and we started eating. And one of the tanks I was watching, I was looking at them all, and they're all shiny and stuff. And then I started looking at one of the tanks.
This is me filming you because you couldn't eat. You were obsessed. What was wrong with you?
Okay, there's a valve on one of the tanks.
You couldn't eat. You were that obsessed with this thing.
Look. At the end of that valve.
What am I looking? Oh.
Drip.
Okay, there's a drip.
Okay. So I have this huge tank, and I have this.
Okay, there's a
drip again.
And you're waiting for someone to go, oh my gosh, there's a drip there.
Or beer's going on the floor. See? Am I lying there?
Now there's the close-up, the meaningful close-up of the drip.
Can't, and we're goofing here, but it really had my attention most of the dinner. I kept looking over at it, and it was just driving me nuts.
I'm sorry this cost you so much torment. But we had to take your dinner home because you were not. I don't think you consumed more than a bite.
This is the worst. Put this in front of anybody who has dripping. Oh my gosh!
It's a drip.
Drove me crazy. Oh.
Why did that torment you so much?
It's like a toilet running, and you're in bed, right? And you go, oh, somebody didn't jiggle the handle right, and then you have to get up and do it because you can't let it run. It's just, and it's not, it's a guy thing, maybe, I'm not sure.
Well, no, you've always been the fix-it guy. You fix problems, so I can see where this would torment you. But here's the thing. You left without ever even telling anybody. We had attentive waitstaff through us.
It's not my job to fix their problems.
You could have pointed across the table and went, that drip is killing me slowly inside.
No, because they'd probably go, what?
It's supposed to be like that, Mr. Collard.
Bob the brewer will be in the morning.
And that would have just made it worse for you, huh?
That's not his real name.
Dripping all night.
I know, it's still dripping right now. Stop it!
Slow corrosion of the valve. Is it?
Oh, Satan's bride.
What does that call you?
I don't know.
All right, tell me this kid is not a boss, like a total boss.
This is her niece, isn't it?
Okay, well, Morley Hayes, she ironically just learned about labor in her child development class, 16 years old.
Yeah.
Adorable. So she goes home, and then over the weekend, she's out with some friends and usually hanging out. But this Saturday, for some reason, she was at home. She was doing some chores. Her mom was running an errand. And then the doorbell rang, and her 7-year-old cousin appeared at the door just sobbing, going, "My mom's in labor! My mom's in labor! She's going to have her baby!" And just freaking out. So Morley races out. Laura Krieger, her baby was not due till May 19th. So, you know, you time everything. You got time to do stuff. So she was driving one of her kids to a friend's house for a play date, and she goes into labor.
So she's in the car.
She's had children before. She knows what labor is. She's pretty sure she's crowning. She's like, oh, crap.
Right.
So she manages to pull over to her sister's house where Morley, her niece, is. So the teen dials 911, races down the dispatcher. I mean, it's literally like those westerns you used to watch where the dispatcher goes, get a towel, get a clean towel and a shoelace and a safety
Bite
pin.
the umbilical cord with her teeth.
And her poor aunt goes, my water broke. And so it's just, oh my gosh. So poor Morley. So she's like, I'm here. And so she helps her auntie, and then her latest cousin, Kayla, arrives within minutes.
Oh, my gosh.
So Morley is like, lay down, put your pillows up, we can do this. She learned everything she'd learned. She made sure the umbilical cord wasn't tangled and the child's coloring was good.
Yeah.
And she said she was really extra glad that she'd scrubbed the bathroom that earlier in preparation because she hadn't known this was going to happen. But she was
so she did her chores before.
Relieved. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Kayla Faith Krieger was born. She's in the arms of her mother, Laura, and her 16-year-old cousin was sitting there hyperventilating just slightly because she's cool.
There they are.
Washed the baby off. Paramedics arrived, took the baby, clipped the cord. Could not
Off
have
she
done
go.
Could not have been any
That's a great
better.
story. I hope they had waterproof floor mats. That'd be a positive thing.
Like a boss. I mean, number one, amazing mom, and number two, amazing niece. Morley, you're a rock star. Because it's just like the old westerns. Get a shoelace and some clean towels. I mean, it's like, what?
Bring me a stick for her to bite on.
I mean, seriously. Oh, by the way, they're from Eden, Utah. I did not mention that. That's why I thought it was extra cool. All right.
I'm just trying to think with why I was 16, what my capabilities were. And my capabilities basically were throwing dirt clods at each other. They're not delivering babies. All right, you're doing information for us because Daisy is in jolly old England. Today's headlines being brought to you by Fink and McGregor. If you're looking for a mortgage, these are the people who can make it happen, and they have tons of different kinds of mortgages that will fit you. Also, Brio Technologies, they put the lights up, they put projectors up, big video screens. They'll make your occasion really cool. Also, by New Millennium Group, if you have money, you don't know what to do with it, or you need some more money, they can organize your life so when you retire, things will be okay. All right, let's get some information with Erin.
All right, hello everyone. Here's what's making news on Wednesday, May 2nd on GephardtDaily.com. The LDS Church has announced it will begin restricting internet access to its meeting houses. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints released a statement Tuesday saying that it was reviewing its filtering policy to, quote, improve the experience for people in its buildings and meeting houses. According to the information published on LDS.org, the change will allow people to focus on worship and to free up access for leaders who need to use the internet for actual church-related purposes. The change is expected to begin later on this month. A 35-year-old DUI suspect was seriously injured Tuesday night after crashing her vehicle on Legacy Parkway. The Utah Highway Patrol said the Salt Lake City woman was driving at about 100 miles an hour northbound on Legacy when she was spotted by the police. Now, officers tried to pull her over, but she drove off before they could arrest her. They said she ultimately smashed through a guardrail, causing her vehicle to roll several times. The woman was flown to the hospital in serious condition. The injuries were not life-threatening. A popular South Jordan eatery has been closed by the Salt Lake County Health Department after being cited for dozens of violations.
Ew.
Riced is located at 114 South Parkway Plaza Drive. It's going to remain closed for at least 7 days and must pass a new inspection in order to reopen. Among the violations of the discoveries,
Oh no, here it comes.
raw meat being stored on the kitchen floor,
There you go.
near ready-to-eat foods, the accumulation of food debris under the grill, an unclean sink, and dirty floors and equipment.
There you go.
That whole raw meat thing's got me a little shaken up.
Yeah.
Time for a look at Wasatch Front weather. It's brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's audio-visual specialists, and by our shiny new sponsors at Magic Wash, home of the long-lasting ceramic car wash with outlets in South Ogden and a new facility on Antelope Drive in Layton. It's another blustery day of weather in store for today. The isolated showers and even a touch of snow in the higher elevations.
Yay,
Thursday,
team.
we finally get a break. Sunshine and warmer temps return, and then by Friday, things are downright toasty. High temperatures in the 80s, and if you're heading down south, 90s in St. George. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to getpartdaily.com.
All right, quick word about our people over at Millennial Finance. Okay, so here's the deal. A lot of people have been working hard all their lives, and they're setting themselves up, and they're saying, okay, I got my kids going, and I've got my college, and I've got this, and I've got that, and then I got a raise, or I'm doing 2 jobs now. How is that going to work for you, and work for you in the correct fashion? Because are we supposed to know all that stuff? I don't think so. We're taught to save 401k, but then what do you do with it? Well, they can help you at Millennium, the Millennium Group.
Millennial Financial Group.
And all you have to do is go talk to them, and they're going to straighten you out.
All right, perfect.
All right, cool. Tell me something good.
You're going to like this. San Francisco. Now, we've talked a lot about the homeless population, I think, in San Francisco several times.
Do you know what the newest thing there is? Should I just throw it in?
Sure, go ahead.
They are reacting to the citizens because there is so much debris and matter that comes out of people that they are now clearing a lot of the tent sites, and they are now high pressure washing the sidewalks, and it's a big thing that they are changing over now.
Because it's getting out of control.
It's gotten so out of control because they have always been very protective, but now they need to be protective of the city as well.
Well, but here's the deal. We're talking about a place that's ridiculously expensive to live in. You and I know this. And part of this is the tech boom. I mean, at the point where a 2-bedroom house is like $3 million now. And those are the cheesy, tiny, little 2-bedroom homes. So this has put a lot of people who are already financially at risk to a point where they literally are homeless. Well, this is interesting. Dale Seymour is a formerly homeless poet and writer, and he founded Code Tenderloin. Now, it's a nonprofit that seeks to rehabilitate, train, and then find employment for the disenfranchised residents of the Tenderloin. Now, this is the Bay City's most ethnically diverse and definitely the poorest neighborhood.
Right.
So far, 300 students, all of them homeless, have graduated from the program, and a third of them have already found employment in the tech sector. Some of the graduates have even been hired into 6-figure jobs. Now,
what?
The fun thing...
That's awesome.
Well, Dale, it's pretty fun because Dale was talking about it, and he said once the first wave of graduates came out, and the tech businesses were like, well, okay, but yeah, like these could be people in their 40s, or
right.
These could be people who come from maybe a history of drug abuse. And he goes, yeah, but they went through this, they stayed clean, would you
right.
give them a chance? I mean, they were finding that these students were like hugely motivated. They're like, yeah, totally. They would get started. There was none of the whining, or from kids who maybe had been more blessed with being able to go to an expensive school and
right.
such. And then suddenly there were 5 or 6 different tech companies that got really enthusiastic, and they're like, we'll put some backing into this. We'll help you fund it.
Oh, cool.
Because this is great. You're giving us a really good conduit. But it was really cool. What he said was, my past shapes me, but it doesn't define me unless I let it. And he said, I wanted to give these other people who thought there was nothing left for them that same vision. Isn't that amazing? So literally from a homeless to a 6-figure salary.
It reminds me of... Is it The Other Side? The Other Side.
Just I think it's The Other Side, isn't it?
Side.
The moving company.
The moving, they do catering and moving and stuff like this, and they work with prisoners who are coming out and nonviolent, and all that stuff, and they get them working and get them out there, and it's just they're great people, and they do great jobs, and they're learning new skills, and it's just
think about
same kind of deal.
That challenge, though. I mean, you get out of prison, and they're
right.
like, okay, go get a job and better yourself. Okay, then go try to apply for a job.
And you have to say every time that you have a record.
And so who's going to hire you?
Right.
And so if you can't find work, or you're woefully underemployed, you drop back into your old habits. What's going to happen? But this gives them a chance to be something more.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think
it's
wonderful.
Good. We got some messages on Facebook, and it was about Christopher's, and they were saying that they looked at their site and they saw their food, and if we don't let them win, they are going to be unhappy with us.
Everyone's unhappy with us,
They
starting
really
with our
are.
children. Really,
lower your
get
expectations.
in line.
Right.
But somebody hopefully will be happy on Friday, because we are going to pick another winner.
Okay.
And that's dinner for 4 at Christopher's, your chance just to relax. It seemed, when we talked to people, we said, what is the thing that would be most important that you could have that you don't have now? And for everybody, it was like that one handful of hours where you got to be with people you loved, and you actually got to communicate again. Mm-hmm. It's the same way with us. We find friends, and your stomach hurts because you're laughing so hard, and you remember all those good things.
And you don't miss a beat. As soon as you see them, it's like, boom.
And that's the
You're back to when you saw him last 4 months ago.
And that's the gift of Christopher's. You're eating amazing food, you're in a wonderful environment, people are taking care of you, and your only job is to have fun. So all you have to do is just drop a comment on the Todd and Erin Facebook page if you're watching this here, hi. Or you can drop one on Gephardt Daily or Gephardt Approves Facebook pages. That automatically enters you, and then we'll pick a winner on Friday.
All right, coming up next, we're going to talk about horses that you can get. But before that, we're going to tell you about a new thing at the Collard household that is working unbelievably, sort of. It's all coming up next.
We're brought to you by Fink & McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. Just head to fink-mcgregor.com. Take 4 minutes to answer some questions, and you'll get a great idea about mortgages that you're eligible for. And by Stayfit Wellness Clinic. Go get a personalized health analysis. This is the time to get back in shape, feel better, feel younger, and without a ton of new medications at stayfitwellnessclinic.com.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Master, the castle is on top of the mountain. I don't even know what accent that is. It does. Though. It looks like Von Hilshire's. Yeah, that one.
Von Hilshire's.
You know what I mean.
That was awesome.
You know what I mean. Van Goghenstein.
That was awesome, babe.
So we got a new thing in our house. We started 2 days ago. And it was like kind of by accident or something, but here's the layout of the house. Okay, here we go. Living room, dining room, open here. Corner where Todd's computer is. Up here is where Erin's computer is. The TV is right here. Our kids are here. So last night, 2 nights ago, all of a sudden I just said, you know what? Turn the TV off. Turn your games off. You know, you can play, but just don't use the sound. And we had a quiet time. I know this sounds so simple, doesn't it? But we just
had never had it.
We just haven't had it for
I don't
forever.
Think ever.
This is what it sounds like. Only interrupted by Erin swearing at her computer once in a while. The last 2 days. It's been
really nice.
Why does it sound so simple and we're idiots? And we're just kind of figuring it out.
Part of it is Zoe's narrative. Zoe will play Minecraft and she'll be like, yeah, that's right. How could you do that to me?
You're not going to attack me.
And this will go on like for 3 hours if you don't stop her. So it was really
She's like
nice.
David Attenborough talking about the Planet Blue Marble thing and just commenting on all the action that the Tigers were doing. But I got to tell you, I am not giving that up.
That was really nice.
It is.
It was very soothing.
I feel like we're doing something everyone's been doing for a long time, and we're just discovering it.
No, what I'm feeling right now, if I activate my psychic senses, I get this overwhelming feeling of, oh, bless your hearts. They're simple, but they're so enthusiastic.
Someone come up, just do that. Bless your hearts.
That's pretty much it. All right.
Which is next? What people say to a baby who's not really cute.
It's kind of like our show, isn't it?
It is like our show.
With a baby that's not cute.
You know, sometimes they're no less loved or anything, but some babies start off like lizards, and other babies start off like cherubs. It's just the way the world works. And then they just grow and they change. No, stop. And then when you see a baby like that, and all of a sudden they pull the blanket off, and like that, and you're like, ah! And then you go, well, bless your heart.
Oh, my God. All right, go on.
Is that what you just said?
Just go on.
You okay?
I'm just a little concerned.
Who wants a horse?
Okay.
Who wants a horse?
I love horses. Don't tell Zoe, because she will be very into this.
We'll give you $1,000 credit if you take a wild horse. Now, hugely controversial. There's a horse protection group. There's several of them. And these are the wild Mustangs and stuff. And what the BLM has done is they go out and corral them, and they bring them in, and now they're overpopulated the entire BLM land. Now there's 100,000 of them, and they don't know what to do with them, and now they're encroaching, or the cattle are encroaching on them, and all this stuff. Here's some horrible things that have happened. They sell them for slaughter.
Oh.
They want to sterilize them, and the group protecting them doesn't want that to happen, but I'm not sure exactly why. So they're only using temporary temporary birth control.
You know, that opens up a whole new subject that I don't even want to get into.
I don't either. Do they have to go to the drugstore? So anyway,
I don't even want to know.
and this has been going on for years, and the BLM is just has this challenge, and they're trying to make up for it. What a lot of people are saying, horrible things that they have not done correctly. So basically, the horses and burros. Burros are awesome.
I've always liked burros, just because they're the less attractive child, so you love them more. You know what I mean?
You know how smart they are?
Really?
Holy yeah.
They're the ones, horses and burros can find water, right? Oxen can't?
Donkeys as well, mules. They are so smart.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes.
So tell me about these wild horses and burros.
So anyway, this is the thing that they're offering right now. Not offering it. They're submitting this to the government to say, listen, we got to take care of this problem of what's going to happen. And in the past, like I said, horrible things have happened. The animals have been taken to slaughter.
That seems like a much worse alternative to me. Yeah,
it's not what anybody wants. But now here's your problem. You got 100,000 horses and you have to thin them out. What are you going to do? So this is just one of the latest things they're saying. Give them a tax credit. Give them $1,000 tax credit. Come down, get a horse, do that. So hopefully, that's one of the ways that are going to help the process.
I think it's a great idea.
It is. I'm back on the drugstore thing. Okay.
All right, you got to move forward.
Okay, let's move forward, shall we?
Okay, I just thought this was such an interesting coincidence. Renee Mercury has one of those dorky yellow raincoats, and she lives in Boston, so you know how much it rains.
It's the one with the hood that looks like that fish company guy.
Pretty much, yeah.
Who sells the
Gordon's fish.
The Gordon's fish.
Yeah, and you know, people have mocked her forever. She's like, I don't care. I love it. I've had it 20 years. It's comfortable. But it was cool. So she and her friends
had it 20 years.
were watching the Boston Marathon last week. Now, just picture what it takes to get to the Boston Marathon. How good you have to be.
You have to qualify. You have to qualify. You have to qualify.
Yeah. I mean, it's an overwhelming amount of work.
The weather.
One of the runners became overwhelmed by the rain and freezing temperatures.
It was horrible.
He had a look of despair and desperation, and I remember him asking, can I have a jacket? Does anyone have a jacket? And he was looking at people, and no one would look back at him, and they're all like, I've got my...
It's raining out.
And she immediately took off her raincoat, her dorky raincoat, passed it to the runner. He zipped it up and said, thank you so much, and went running. I said, I'll find you somehow. And she said, he struck me as a person who was drowning, and he was reaching out, and it was that dramatic, and no one would help him.
She took her jacket off.
So, judging by...
And away it goes. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
Last time you're going to see it.
Well, and, you know, picturing it, though, she goes, I'm going to find him somewhere along the route, because that guy was exhausted and just...
Oh, we wouldn't make it?
Yeah, because he was just chilled to the bone, and you know, that stuff takes over. And so she basically checked with her son, who was running just behind him, said, how you doing? You okay? And he goes, yeah, I'm just fine. Here's the irony. So she was walking along the route. Her poor son apparently had to drop out because the conditions were that bad. They just got worse. The guy with her jacket, however, made it across the finish line. And immediately after completing the race, he took to social media because he wanted to find the jacket's owner.
Get out of here.
Because you saved me. I finished the race because of you.
There is no way.
So his mission was shared like thousands of times. Here's the cute picture. Until it was picked up by news outlets, and then the news outlets went with it. And then finally, Mercury got a text from her son saying, you've got to see this link, Mom. I think this is your hideous jacket that we always mock you for.
Right.
And she says, I was overcome with joy that he managed to finish and that the jacket made the race for him. So he finally got her phone number, and so because she actually lived in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, he actually drove the hideous 20-year-old jacket back up to her.
Oh, that's so
and
sweet.
And delivered it by hand because he wanted to show his appreciation.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet.
For the hideous 20-year-old jacket. Now you have to show the jacket some respect.
You know, it'd be funny if they finally got a hold of him and he goes, "Screw you, I'm keeping it."
It's my good luck charm now.
That's my good luck charm.
Not happening.
This is all I'm wearing. This is interesting because this woman, we remember this story of this woman, and she's a fighter pilot, the very first fighter pilot.
Well, here's the thing. And it started actually in the Saudi Arabian Air Force, and it was a miracle that they allowed the first woman to become a pilot.
She also led the attack.
And the woman in Saudi Arabia was the first one to lead the attack.
She was on ISIS, right?
She's the commander on ISIS. So I just once again want to tell you guys, as the most hideous, misogynistic pigs in history, you got your ass handed to you by a girl. I'm sorry, and I know I just swore, but I bet every mother out there is with me. It's like, yes, ISIS, you who rape women and enslave them and stuff, and a girl just bombed you into the Stone Age. Sorry, I'm Todd.
You back
You're
again?
chuckling nervously, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Shall we continue?
So anyway, because of this, and because Saudi Arabia broke and went, okay, Afghanistan said, we're going to have to allow women into the Air Force. So they started training, and Niloufar Rahmani was just incredibly motivated. She says, I will do anything. And she had been to school, and she'd been way over the top on all of the tests, the way you would have to be wildly overqualified. Right. And sure enough, she became the first commercial pilot with the Air Force. A military pilot with the Air Force in Afghanistan. Captain Niloufar was incredible. She's 27 years old only, and she was already a captain, had done amazing things.
And has continued to do that until recently.
And then there's
a problem.
Even her extended family started sending her death threats. For having stepped out of her place as a woman and having violated the culture.
And then ISIS and those people were doing the same thing to her.
Because the death threats became so prevalent.
On her and her family.
The military official says, we can't put you out on a mission because it's going to target your mission.
Right.
Her family was like, we have to stay inside because people want to kill us. So she applied for asylum to the United States, and she just was granted asylum, and she was immediately offered 4 commercial pilot offers from Delta, United, United Emirates, and
really?
I can't remember.
That's amazing.
Alaska. So she's employed. She's said, thank you so much for believing in me.
Safe. She got her family here.
It makes me sad
she's a
because
badass.
I was so excited for her making that moment, but
it's very cool.
You can't stop culture.
Isn't
yet,
it?
I guess.
It's just so weird. I mean, it's just it was such a big deal when she led the raid. I mean, it was.
This is the Saudi Arabian pilot who had led the raid. This is the first Afghan pilot.
Okay, all right. People like Real here. Yeah. They like the soccer. Football. It's huge around the world, and the Turkish people, they just love football like everyone else.
It's a thing. It's like a big thing. It's like NFL and like baseball and basketball all squished together here. It's that level of adoration.
There are fighting words, if you are, there could be fights.
Manchester United.
Yeah.
Just saying. Go on.
Well, there's a fan, Turkish fan, and his team, he loves them so much that he got kicked out of the stadium for a year.
How much did he love them?
I don't know what the heck he did, but he must have been punching women and old people and pushing them downstairs.
Throwing dogs.
Because people get really excited, and I've seen it, and it's great.
That's where the phrase Scottish soccer hooligan came from. Some of us are second cousins.
So basically, he got kicked out. He had to go down to the police station and fill out a form that said, I will not go and watch the game in the stadium. Once again, I will repeat that. I will not go down and watch the game in the studio. So he went and he signed stadium. So he went and he signed off on it to the police, handed it to him, and then went out and hired a crane.
No freaking way.
He hired a crane, and he had the crane take him up. So it was high enough that he could look over and look down with his fans. Yeah. Amigo, what was his nickname? Amigo Ali. That was his nickname. And everyone cheered when they saw him. And it's so funny. A year-long ban, what did you do? His team won 5-0. So anyway, there you go.
Good luck, Charlie.
Good job. Right?
That is freaking hysterical.
Put the guy in the crane every single game.
That is freaking hysterical.
There's an apartment complex by Fenway Park in Boston, and it's really in a really funny downtown area. And there are apartments where you can actually almost look over the wall into the stadium. And so what they've done is they actually went up and built bleachers on the roof of these places, so you can actually go up and Citgo, the Citgo sign. You've seen it if you watch those games.
That's so awesome.
And they go up there and they have parties every game and they all hang out.
Man, that's seriously valuable real estate.
I think that's
so
really
funny.
Cool. Did you pick up the thing?
No,
or did
why don't we keep this?
I don't know. We're not organized today. All right, so coming up, we are going to tell you about Heather's. She gets arrested from Hollywood?
Arrested Development has
Right.
got a new season coming out on Netflix. Westworld.
Oh, don't tell them.
We'll tell you all the news.
We'll
It's
tell
coming
you
up
next.
next.
Yeah.
We're brought to you by Stay Fit Wellness Clinic. If you're tired of feeling sick and tired, it's time to make an appointment with Dr. Bowden for a new holistic health plan to make you feel better, lose weight, sleep well at stayfitwellnessclinic.com. And by Magic Wash with 2 locations in South Ogden and Layton. Come in for the ceramic car wash that keeps your car cleaner longer by sheeting all the dirt and the water off your nice shiny finish. We're brought to you by Think & McGregor. Mortgages made simple. Just head to think-mcgregor.com. Take 4 minutes to answer some questions and you'll get a great idea about mortgages that you're eligible for. And by Stay Fit Wellness Clinic. Go get a personalized health analysis. This is the time to get back in shape, feel better, feel younger, and without a ton of new medications at Stay Fit Wellness Clinic.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's time for what's going on in Hollywood.
Hollywood Connection brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. Leon, who I adore, by the way, says they have a $39 special right now. They'll come in and they'll like fine-tune your swamp cooler or your air conditioner, get everything put back together
Nice.
to make sure that you don't have like hundreds of extra dollars that you have to pay for energy bills this season. You can go to utahheatingandcooling.com.
All right,
All
Hollywood.
right, this is cool. Heathers. Do you remember the movie Heathers? Winona
do.
Ryder, Christian Slater, her murderous boyfriend JT, and how random the whole show was?
Oh, yeah.
It was like Mean Girls, but like so much scarier. It was really good. Well, apparently they're bringing it back as a TV series, and it says, just when you thought it was safe to leave your house wearing jorts. Jorts, yeah. So this is going to be on the Paramount Network, and apparently, they had to change it because of all the problems we had in February with with the school, and they didn't want to start anything.
So they've
during
changed it. Yeah.
Yes, it's going to start in June. But apparently, I've seen numbers on it. It's supposed to be fantastic. Westworld, that's the cast that you're seeing right there, who are all unnaturally gorgeous people. Apparently, that's been renewed for a 3rd season, which means millions of dollars back for us because they shoot this in southern Utah.
Do they really?
I know, isn't that great? So we get a buttload of money.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this used to be one of our favorites, and we've never seen any of the Netflix seasons. Why is this? Arrested Development. Jason Bateman.
I don't know.
Portia de la Rossi. Do you remember how much we loved that show? And we've never watched one of these. We have to. It's back. The show's creator says, we've shot it, and everyone was kind of bugging him, going, when is this on? When is this on? When are you releasing it? Because on Netflix, when you release the show, you release the whole series,
Sure,
which is why you and I are totally
The
screwed
way
on-
America's should do. All Americans
Yeah,
should.
except for now we're screwed on Santa Clarita Diet and we have to wait for another year.
So disappointing.
Yeah, but in any case, they said, when is it going to be on? He goes, like, real soon.
All right.
But apparently someone did manage to pry out of him that it should be in June as well.
Very cool.
So that's kind of cool.
All right, so information world headlines being brought to you by the New Millennium Group. They are the people who put your finances in order so you don't end up on the street. That's not a slogan of theirs. I just made it up. Stay fit. These people work with your brain and your body and your diet and your exercise, and it's a customized thing just for you and your bod. And also, Fink and McGregor, if you want to buy a house in this market, you better be pre-qualified because these houses are selling in one day. Fink and McGregor can set you up so you can buy a home for real next time, as opposed to being left out in the cold. All right, time for Erin.
Here's what's making news in the U.S. and around the world on Wednesday, May 2nd on GephartDaily.com. Special counsel Robert Mueller has told attorneys for Donald Trump he can't subpoena the commander-in-chief to appear before a grand jury. Now, according to ABC News, Mueller, who is the leader of the Justice Department's Russia investigation, warned Trump's lawyers he could compel Trump to testify if he declines to be interviewed. Now, Trump's attorneys are maintaining he has no obligation to talk to the investigators regarding the Russia investigation. In a series of tweets Wednesday, Trump said that the Russia accusations are, quote, a hoax, and that the justice system has been rigged. Harold Bornstein, who is the man who was Donald Trump's personal doctor for 35 years, says the over-the-top statement he released touting Trump's health before the election was actually dictated by Trump himself. Born made the allegations on the same day he told CNN that Trump's former bodyguard and 2 other men raided his office and made off with Trump's medical file in early 2017. Boren said he, quote, felt raped, frightened, and sad as the 3 large men made off with the files. Start of summer here is more than a month away, but the western wildfire season apparently is already underway. Arizona's Tinder Fire grew to 11,420 acres on Tuesday with 0% containment, emergency officials say. Arizona Governor Doug Ducey says that it's a state of emergency in Coconino County on Monday. This is 3 days after it broke out. Some 559 fire personnel are working to extinguish the fire including 6 helicopters, 15 crews, and 40 fire engines. Time now for a look at Wasatch Front weather. It's brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's most excellent audiovisual specialists, and by Magic Wash, home of the long-lasting ceramic car wash, with an outlet in South Ogden and a brand new facility on Antelope Drive in Layton. More blustery weather today, isolated showers and even a touch of snow. Now finally, Thursday we get a break. Sunshine, warmer temperatures return, and then by Friday it is downright toasty. High temperatures in the 80s for the weekend and 90s down in St. George. It's going to be gorgeous. Now for more news 24/7, you can check out GephardtDaily.com.
I'd forgotten about fire season.
Oh man, can you imagine?
As soon as I saw that
With all the
picture, I was
rain?
like, oh no, I was just thinking, oh, last year. I go, oh my gosh, it was out of my brain. It's like,
But we've
here
had
it
so
comes.
much rain now. We have all the green, which is going to turn to.
You can't win.
Yeah.
You can't win. Either it's too dry and it's going to burst into flames, or there's too much water. It grows up green, then it dies, then it bursts into flames.
Well, there you go.
I got to tell you, Finken McGregor, I was just telling you that story. It's incredibly true. People are going in. We sold our house in a week. Other people are selling their house. First person who sees it is buying it because
That
of the
happened next door.
because of the shortage of housing. But you can't do that and say, "Yeah, we'll buy the house. We have
Put
to
in
go.
a bid. We have to go get qualified.
And it's like, no, you can't do that in this market because the next 4 people are pre-qualified and basically come in and buy the house from underneath you. So, if you go to Finken McGregor, and just for chuckles, go ahead and do the 4-minute quiz they have there, and they can show you all the different kinds of mortgages that'll work for you. So anyway, Finken McGregor, check them out. Don't let that house slip through your fingers. All right, so I got to tell you about this. Cell phones.
Yeah.
Been in the news. Hamilton. Come on, Utah, put your phones away.
I know. Oh, the shame.
Oh, the shame.
Shame.
People in movie theaters. Oh, the shame. People at restaurants. When you're supposed to be, I think, looking at each other.
I just want to point out that you spent all last night filming yourself staring at that drip.
That's different. That's for work. Which also made our meal tax deductible. So the problem with this is that in schools, can you even imagine the frustration of teachers? All the kids are in class trying to, and
You're trying to teach wiggly teenagers anyway, but now they have the power of the internet at their hands just underneath their desk.
So they have tried something new, and I love it. So basically what they're doing is when you go into school at this school, and they're trying this out at 14 different places, you go in and you take your phone and you put it in a bag, a little pouch, and it's magnetic, as you can see, and that flap goes and closes down, and it is just like the tags they put on clothing and expensive items in your department stores.
Locks.
And it locks. So basically, when you walk into a classroom, there's the bag, turn it off, phone goes in, close the latch, throw it on the teacher's desk.
That's hysterical.
Or you can put it in your own desk. It doesn't matter. You're not going to do it. And
Because
you're
in possession of it all the time. So
Right.
you know nothing's going to happen to it.
It's hilarious.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Right? Unless you take it and run down to a supermarket or a department store and see if theirs works on yours. But, I mean, it takes care of the problem 100%.
Those are expensive, though, I would imagine.
Really?
But it's worth
But
it.
is there a price on education? Really?
That's a good bit.
Thanks.
I looked really sincere. That's funny, though.
Isn't it?
Anything that works at this point, seriously, I'm sure teachers are just like ready to tear their hair out.
I'm going to tell you, a trucker, honest truckers. I think truckers are the salt of the earth. They're on the road.
They are the knights of the road.
They are the knights of the road, and we've got a guy who is so honest. You would not be as honest like this. You would never be this honest, and it's coming up next.
We're brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. Go to UtahHeatingandCooling.com for their $39 air conditioner tune-up special. Some care now could make the difference in hundreds of dollars of energy bills this summer. And by New Millennium Financial Group. Take your feeble financial health back to a more robust position with a consult with New Millennium Financial Group. They're offering a complimentary financial analysis to get you started at utahsfinancialplanner.com.
I always hear this stuff about church ball.
It's rough.
Always,
It's rough.
people come into work and they're limping. What happened? Church ball. And when I first moved here, I was like, why is your tooth missing? Church ball. Took an elbow from the bishop. And you were like, so I know the history and how brutal.
My dad was our coach. Can you imagine my father as the coach for young women's? Yeah.
I'd fake
and we
an injury.
we totally took our stake championship.
Really?
Hands down, because my dad's a great coach, but it's brutal.
And loud.
It's terrible. It might have been mainly out of self-defense that we won. I'm not sure, but yeah, we won.
Is it just the Mormons, though?
Oh, no.
Catholics are there, and
Don't you remember
everyone.
Do you remember when the boys went to parochial school? Oh man.
Man.
Yeah. And Father Jenkins was the worst.
He was pushing kids out of the way, make a basket. It's horrible.
Tackle, they're sorry.
So, what church is this?
Well,
with?
this is even worse. It's broom hockey. Maybe they even went past. They said, okay, church ball, basketball's too rough. We're going to go to broom hockey. We're going to try to distance some of the players, maybe not make it as brutal.
Right.
Okay, here we go. A man who prosecutors say laid a heavy hit on a 13-year-old boy during a game of broom hockey.
Say that one more time. A who?
Ryan Reed Settler, apparently 37, was in the game.
Right.
The 13-year-old boy apparently had run into his son, who's 13,
right,
and I guess knocked him over. So they're both going at it. So apparently Settler lost his mind, lowers his shoulder, and then run towards the boy, and then knocked him down, saying, "How does it feel?
Oh my God!
You can dish it out, but you can't take it."
36.
7. Prosecutors say he acted recklessly when he inflicted a serious injury on the 13-year-old boy, leaving him with a concussion and a broken elbow that will require surgery. So he just got charged with child abuse. You can get too invested in your game. Let's just all say this together. You can get too invested in your game. Yeah.
That is just horrible.
There's a point where it's not cute like the Turkish guy who could get a crane and rise up so he can watch the. It's not like that.
No.
You just tackled a 13-year-old boy.
I heard at a church they play dodgeball.
Wow.
Right.
I'm glad I didn't have that one. That would have been awful.
It just smack the devil right out of you.
Yeah, that's for sure.
All right.
Something.
So I thought this is funny because you were talking about parking lot rage
It's just the sad
earlier.
part though is it happened at an LDS meeting house during a young man's
It
activity.
was. Oh my gosh. I'm not generalizing.
Just the phrase "a young man's activity." It's like that's not an activity.
That's a breakage.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So the trucker. So this
God bless this
22-year-old trucker, he's going by his GPS. And his GPS, and this is going from Oregon.
We've heard these stories.
And his name's Jacob. Now, I guess he missed a bunch of places to stop and turn around. We had muddy and snowy conditions. And he ends up getting his truck stuck in basically the woods. Now, he's been driving for a while, and all of a sudden it starts to slip. He cannot move it. So he's in the truck, and he goes, I know how far away I am from anything, but I'm going to make a decision, and I'm gonna walk out of here. He didn't have any food, very little water. He walked. He never stopped walking for 4 days.
No freaking way.
In the cold, in the mud, 4 days until he hit the highway. 4 days. Without food. I want to say that again. Without food. In the back of his 18-wheeler, there was nothing but potato chips. The truck was full of food, which he did not touch.
So you could have just sat in the truck and eaten potato chips and gathered rainwater because you're in Oregon, so that's all it does.
And there was snow, yeah, but he didn't.
Why? Why didn't he eat the chips? Eat the chips. Even if I had personally bought the chips and you ate my chips, I would say, eat the chips.
The quote is, that's the way I was raised. That stuff wasn't mine, so I don't touch it.
Honey, eat the chips. Eat them. I'm here for you. Eat the chips.
Okay, think of any one person who would hold him accountable for that. The maker of the chips, no. The trucking company, no. The person receiving it, retail sales, no. A guy walking by, no. No one would have blamed him for cracking open some potato chips
All I can say is I hope the
4
manufacturer of
days.
those potato chips gives him a
4 days.
lifetime supply of potato chips.
4 days.
4 days.
All right, so you were telling us about a parking lot rage situation with you yesterday where a guy
yeah. The
wanted...
Range Rover, and
Yeah.
he was angry because I hadn't moved out of my space quickly enough so that he could have it.
I want you to just take a look at this, and maybe this is the answer to all questions involving traffic and traffic issues, okay? All right, let's take a look at it. Go ahead.
Come on. Go
No. Are you serious?
Rock, paper, scissors lets her in line to go through the toll.
Oh,
Right?
that could solve so many problems in this world.
Right?
So many.
It's like, excuse me, I got to get in. Okay, bring it. Paper covers, Rock, out of the way.
South Korea nuclear summit. Okay. I mean, it could solve maybe not that one, but
Yeah.
so many other problems.
That is so funny.
That is hysterical.
You got to try that next time.
Can we
All
play
right.
that one more time as
Can
we
we
go out?
Can we play that one
Don't
more
forget
time?
to sign up for Christopher's.
We'll say goodbye to you now, and we'll see you tomorrow. But let's see if we can check that one out again,
That's
shall we?
freaking
It is.
hysterical.
That would solve so many problems. But anyway, never mind. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks very much
Thank
for
you.
watching. That would solve
on.
that in our house. That would solve problems.
And all we have to do is teach.
Go for it, man.